that's one thing we look at. Is this something that's going to allow the company to grow on its own? Is this sufficient? Is it expandable? Like what is that market potential down the road on that? So those are things you have to consider. I mean, sometimes it is reasonable and the best play to set up a separate company.
Would that be in a case where it's just a complete different spin-off? Like
it would be a complete, I could see a completely different spin-off. It's not necessarily part of the core competency or the core technology of the original company. You're saying you're putting it into another entity so that you can operate it separately.
Fantastic. Any other questions going around? Oh, there, over there.
Sorry.
It's
Don't
okay.
be sorry. Don't be sorry. This is it.
So, in terms of like the owner matching, do you, like, you said that you need to see the bank statement or the POs and whatnot, right? But do you consider the original investment which the owner already invested, say last year, to have the company in a startup and everything? I invested $5,000 and I have all the proof and whatnot. And then now I'm coming on the table with another 10,000 of mine and then 50,000 from the non-owner thing. Will that kind of fulfill your requirement? No?
No, you need to have that matching cash at the time.
At that time.
Okay, at the time. Yeah, we don't look. We appreciate that, and that's what's gotten you to the point where you're at. But you need to have the matching cash at the time.
Perfect.
Do you distinguish between purchase orders and letters of intent?
We do look at those different as far as they can both be utilized, and we see them. We don't say that one's stronger than the other.
Business model, depends on the business model.
It all depends on the business model, exactly. So you're looking at many. More is the case that you're not going to have POs.
Like say you had a 50 split of POs and 50% letters of intent to match that.
To do your match on that.
To make it.
That would be fine. It's all about the business case, the business model, things of that nature. So we evaluate it all, so we don't look at one stronger than others in that case.
That's pretty interesting.
So, there was a couple things when. Is that all the questions at this point?
Anybody? Oh, there we go.
How often are you guys giving out these grants? Like how many a year, or how much?
We usually do every couple months, every 2-3 months, there's a call. Our next call is March 23rd on that. And all of our applications now go through the OCU website. You can identify a business development manager to work with you at that time, or send the person, if you know it, you can send me a note saying, I'm interested in applying for this. That kicks off the application process. And then it's in development. If you're working with a business development manager, they can help do some iterations back and forth to help hone it, and then you submit it. The March 23rd is going to put for people to get to be approved and reviewed in our new fiscal, because we do run on a fiscal year, so it's March 31st. So as of April 1st, we'll be looking at our new mandate.
Yeah. And then the other thing that's a little bit different to that as well is that you also have the innovation centers that will also sit down and work with doing the registrations. I know with Communitech, actually it's tomorrow afternoon, but then each of these centers will have a different date as well, so we can make sure we hone the information way before the due date, so we know everything's up to date and ready to go, so when we give them off to you guys.
Exactly, and that's something I can't emphasize more, is that work with the innovation center, work with the business development managers to hone that. Don't worry, put your draft together, and then we'll work from there. And we can give suggestions, and you can go dig and one thing or another from that point. But that's the best, because we're now only allowing people to apply twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We used to allow multiple kicks at the can, but now we're going twice as well.
Just to follow up on that, like how many other companies would you be competing against, like at any time you apply, maybe, like when one of these grants can be given out?
In a stream, we've seen up to like 50 in a stream. In each one of those individual streams, really depends. The Smart Start 30K comes up more frequently, usually 4 times a year. And then the other 2 streams, the 60 and then the non-youth, come up twice a year on average. We can add more depending on what we have. But you could be running from anywhere from 30 to 50 companies at any one time. It's become quite popular on that. But what I wanted to mention before is, in addition to the programs we're talking about, we have some special programs as well, special initiatives.
Tell us about the special initiatives.
Sure. Now, one of them
Yeah.
that Olivia had alluded to is a high-performance computing. And what this allows, and these are more for established companies. I just want you to be aware of it. It's to gain access to some of the high computing, high-performance computing power that's resident at the universities, like the University of Toronto, through the SOCIP platform. And it gives you access to the IBM Blue Gene Cube, things of that nature. We just closed a round for that. We were expecting more, and this brings in a fair bit of capital. Companies have to bring up usually anywhere from $25,000 to $100,000, but for that you can leverage that money against both OCE, provincial money. You can also then leverage that cash against federal money as well. So you can take that $100,000 and turn it into $500,000 for a project. So that's one thing. Another one that we've just announced with the ministry, and the details are being sorted out, is through the greenhouse gas emissions program. So we've been charged with setting up programs to help companies adopt new technologies, to help them achieve their greenhouse gas emission targets.
So it's a
as
great
well.
program for the clean techs.
Exactly.
Starting up right now.
So that's probably that's the most recent one.
Well, before we start breaking off and we just start going to open networking, what's the one thing, or maybe a couple things that you've seen right now that really gets you excited when it comes down to technology, would be the clean tech or med tech, or actually any tech company right now? What really you find is the most interesting? You've seen a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah,
so I can
that's the
see
thing,
you
it's
got a
just
lot of things. I know there's not everything you can say, but what were the things that really got your attention? Saying, this is really cool. People got, Ontario's really good.
Yeah, I'd say, it's the innovative ways to address a lot of different questions. The collaborations between, like the companies that are willing to go out and work with the academics, what is going on in the academics, and especially in the engineering departments. There's a lot of really interesting technologies that can be adapted in the clean space, clean tech space, but also to just the willingness of a lot of startups and the support for these companies. So I'm seeing really neat stuff in different types of software applications in areas that aren't traditionally software applications. Things like the medical devices that I mentioned. That's really, that coming together is really amazing. Because it's now, you're able to utilize some of the hardware in whole new ways that we wouldn't have ever expected. Addressing issues such as being able to communicate with people when they're sitting inside of an MRI machine, which you can't do. And especially for young children, that can be a challenge when they're sitting there for half an hour without saying. There's one company here in Toronto that's addressing that question, to be able to communicate through essentially a soundproof barrier. So that's really, it's been really neat. That's really neat.
As someone who has an 8-year-old son, I think that would be amazing.
Yeah,
it's a miracle. Keep them
that's
quiet
right.
and straight.
To talk to them and get them back. So that type of, really bringing together disparate technologies to move things forward.
Well, fantastic. Well, it's great having you today. Now, I just want to know, does anyone else have any other questions before we break? And then again, once we break up into open networking, feel free to talk to Brad anytime, ask the questions that you have it a one-on-one, grab his card, grab the information. We're here to help you. And like I said, we're going to start doing some announcements that will announce the webinar series that are starting up in the next little bit. We have our website, which is launching beginning of March as well, and all the other events that are going to be happening between Waterloo and Toronto as well. So with that being said, it's done. Now meet, greet, eat the rest of eat up the pizza. And